You know, there's something I've been wondering for a while. For pretty much most of my entire 34 years of existence. Every time something happens to me or my body or whatever, it always seems to happen to the right side of my body, on the right side, more than the left. Let me give you some examples. Say sinuses. As you probably couldn't tell, I don't know if you can tell, I'm getting over sinuses right now. Yeah, fun. Anyways, every time I get sinuses, I get all stuffed up in the nose and everything. Guess which side gets more stuffed up than the other? The right, of course. My right always gets stuffed up more. I don't know why, but it always does. And continuing with the whole sinus theme, you know, when you have sinuses, your ears also get blocked up too. Not fun. But whenever that happens to me, guess which ear gets blocked up more? It's always the right. Always the right. Yeah. And still continuing with the sinus theme. You know, when you have sinuses, your eyes water too a lot. Of course. Guess which eye waters more? Always the case. It's always the right one. I don't know why. And speaking of eye-related things, styes. In case you don't know what a stye is, it's when you get something in your eye, and no matter what you can do, you can't get it out. No matter how much you like rub it or whatever, you can't get it out, and it's just annoying, and you constantly feel it in there, and you can't, for the love of you, get it out. Eventually, it comes out on its own, usually due to your eyes watering so much that it just fucking comes out that way, or you just blink it away and you don't even notice it half the time. That happens. Anyways, yeah, styes. I get them sometimes. But usually I get them in the right eye, of course. It's always the right. Way more, especially way more than the left. I rarely ever get styes in my left eye. I rarely ever do. It's always the right. It never fails. And more examples. You see, I've never actually broken a bone in my entire life, but I've sprained things a couple times. Like one time when I was a kid, I was climbing a tree and I fell out of the tree and I sprained my ankle. Yeah. Guess which ankle? Yep. Right ankle. And also, in the 8th grade, during school, I fell going up the stairs. Don't ask. And I sprained my pinky finger. Yeah. Guess which pinky finger? Right again. Yeah. It's always the right. Always the right. The right side of my body. Right body part. It's always the right. You know? And there's plenty more examples, you know? I could list off. You know, like how we all found out that I was allergic to yellow jackets is when I was a little kid, I stupidly touched one and got stung on the hand by it. And guess which hand? Right again. And the one time I got bit badly by a German Shepherd. Guess where I got bit at? Right hand. Of course. Now the ankle and hand and leg and arm stuff could probably be explained because I'm right-handed and also right-footed. You know, you walk with your right foot. You know, yeah, that can maybe be the explanation for those. But what about the other stuff? You know, what about the sinus stuff? What about the styes? What about the, you know, others? There's others too that I haven't even mentioned. You know, like the amount of times I've gotten like cold sores, and they always end up being on the right side of my mouth or the right side of my lip, and never the left. Rarely ever the left. What about that? You know, you can't really explain that with, you know, it's because you're right-handed. It's because you're right-footed. Like, no. Everything, almost every time something happens to my body in that sort of way, it always seems to be the right side. Especially more frequently, you know. And I don't know why. It's something I've questioned and wondered for years, decades, pretty much most of my entire 34 years of existence, like I said. And I don't know why, and I still want to know why, but I don't think I'll ever know why. I think it'll just be, it's a thing that happens, you know. When stuff happens to me, to my body or whatever, it'll always end up being on the right side, probably. And it'll just how it be what it is, you know. And I won't be able to, you know, explain it or have a reason for it or anything. Unless there is a reason behind it, I don't know. If there is, you could try to tell me in the comments, but there probably isn't. There probably isn't. I'm just probably, you know, stuck always wondering why everything that happens to me in my body always seems to happen to the right side of my body more than on my left. But, yeah.